Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is To Nerds to Human, and welcome to this Dorfromantik. It is a gorgeous little city building game, and to be honest, Hexagons are, of course, the Bestagons, and this is full of them. It's deceptively simple, but I'm sure you'll see the difficulty as we get on into the game. My high score currently not all that high, to be honest, 6,400. I probably played 5 or 6 rounds of this, not an awful lot, but what I've played so far, I absolutely adore. So let's get into this and let's see what it's all about. Basically, we have ourselves lovely little tiles, and we have a big pack of them over here. Basically, the plan is not to run out because, well, firstly, you don't get to build your city anymore, but secondly, you know, you're trying to actually get a higher score, and I'm currently not very good, so hopefully we'll improve that here today. The idea is, though, that you get yourself some matching opposite ends. So planes on planes gives me a nice 10 points. Obviously, when you get more edges correct, you can eventually get yourselves a full 60, a perfect, and then we'll grab ourselves some new tiles. This one has itself a little bit of a challenge, +5 on the forests. Sadly, we can't match that one up, and we can't actually do it here either. So we're just going to have a load which don't really match up, which is a little bit unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way it goes. We can spin it around, as you can see. And they do have themselves some lovely, I'm going to go with these being lavender fields, but I don't really know exactly what they are, but they're beautiful nonetheless. Okay, so I've had a bit of a mixed bag here at the start. So the railroads are the bane of your life, but we have several missions, 5 trees for this one, the 3 train tracks and the 3 different fields. We're going to fulfill that one straight away, but whilst I do want these to match, I do kind of want it to look good as well, so we're going to match up the 2 gold ends. And with this one, you know what? I do at some point need to get myself a city, so I'm going to plonk this on like this, and maybe we'll have ourselves a town in the... Wow, that's not a very kind way to start the game. Basically, the railroads get in the way of everything, so they're just point destroyers, and this is about the worst tile I think I have ever seen. Oh well. Things could be going better for old Thomas right now. But this will fulfill the quest. We're just going to have ourselves just... Okay, we're just getting quite ridiculous tiles. Normally get a lot more balance than this, but we are getting heavily extreme tiles. We're going to make this one match over there. It's going to be in formation. They can't quite get the same angle, which is somewhat distressing, actually. So we're going to make them... Yeah, we'll make them facing like that. That will do the job. Okay. So if the railroads are our main issue, the second main issue is the waterways, and we've not even been given a simple waterway here either. So I'm going to put this on the outside here. I can actually kind of zoom out a little bit. You know what? That will do. You know what? Let's do it this way. We'll do it that way. The water's then kind of facing outward, probably for the best as time goes on. Here we go, a sort of a mix of plains and the town. Again, I don't really know if or when I'm going to be able to get any more town tiles. So, you know what, we'll just have this nice lone house out here by the forest. Yeah, you can actually, that isn't going to work for those two, so we'll put it here. That will be very nice indeed. That house is going to sit on the end. And we do now have ourselves a few others. That's okay. So we want to join it up to this end. So for now we can only get 10 points, but in future we might be able to do something. These sort of triangular ones or the T-junction ones are a little bit awkward, to be honest, but we'll just have to cope with that for now. And that's probably about as good as we can do. We're going to match both the trees and the fields over here. So as you can see, it will get more and more complicated through time as you try and match up as many different sides as possible. Although for now we are just getting big piles of trees all together. Okay, so we've got 11 on the houses over there. We need to decide where to build this town, and I'm going to push it in that direction, if only because the railroads are likely going to get in the way. I do like the railroads to end up in the towns, but that very rarely happens in my experience, because the railroads make life very difficult indeed. If I try to get them in the town, it normally comes back to murder me later on in the game, but you know, we'll see about that here today. So this is going to potentially be a problem because I could have a huge mega field section over here, but yes, that's going to get in my way. As is that water down south. I'm going to go with that for now. It's not too bad. And I can probably... Yeah, that's not the worst idea, actually. Although I could just branch it off down here. I'm going to branch it off down there. We'll just get all the water together. I think if you... There is, I'm sure there's a guy here. He's got, as I said, I've got, what, 6,400. Someone's got like 600,000 or something insane. I probably just made that number up. But yes, if you want to get as many points as possible, that's quite good. We've got ourselves matching there. If you do want to get as many as possible, there's basically just a matching pattern, and basically the railroads and the waters all by themselves. But you know what? That's quite nice. We'll do that. That's okay. It's looking good over there. Sort of, yeah, you've got this mix of forest and farms over here. And to be honest, I suspect I might just be seeing the end of the farm in this point. We can keep the farm going in that direction later on. We've got ourselves more railway, and honestly, that's probably about as good as I can do for the time being. I'll quite happily stick with that. A few further down the line then, and we can see as we fulfill this mission, we're going to get ourselves a load of new tiles, and that's obviously the name of the game. We're up quite a number from where we were at the start. And the map's not quite taking shape right now. A few gaps in the middle, but I'm kind of leaving them because I'm aiming to get the perfects as much as possible. Obviously, this one I really want to get full fields around the sides here, so I can fill it out in that direction. But we are starting to get a few houses here or there. Unfortunately, not a lot that's letting us expand this town, which is kind of what I'd ideally like. But if it's not going to be the best option for a town, then maybe I will close it up eventually. But you do eventually start to get little flags, little suggestions from the game to close them up. So we'll get to that in time. Now, I'm kind of giving myself future problems over here, but I guess I'm going to have like, I don't know, like the end of the station here. And this one can still escape. So we'll see about that. We've got the same problem here again when we can't close off the town. The game is giving me the X to warn me that ahead of time. So we're going to have to start building ourselves a new town somewhere. And again, I'm kind of... All these train tracks early on are causing me problems with regards to that. And again, I'm going to cause myself issues there. Okay, here's the big town tile. Now, I am going to give up to perfect here, unfortunately. This one's exactly 11. That's interesting. What I could do in that case is kind of build it here. This is kind of where you're aiming for the future sometimes. Like it's, you know, it makes sense obviously in theory to build it where I can build into here, but at this point I'm probably going to build it up here. Just kind of future planning. I need to get the 11 first, and then yeah, once I've got the 11, then we'll work in joining the two bits up. I'm pointing at the screen now, as if you can see, but yes, I'm going to put that there. That will do quite nicely. We can eventually join those together beautifully. I want, a load of plains, but 2 forest tiles on the end for that one. I would like a few more of those fields, although that one might be difficult to get. You know what? Just some trees on the side of rail tracks. That's not the hardest one in the world. We'll plonk that down there. We need 22 plus, so that's not the worst thing in the world. A few trees there. We've got trees in... I say we've got trees in that direction, but that does slightly ruin that perfect potential. Well, it's not going to be a perfect, but it does ruin some of its potential for the future. It's just worth considering that. But you know what? We're going to plonk it up here anyway. So that will do. Aha! Okay, so now we have ourselves one of these blank water tiles, which can be quite useful for finishing up the water and get you some nice lakes on the map. And I have a feeling that this this basically counts as a match on every end, I believe. I think that's been the latest patch to make sure that water doesn't completely ruin you. So this is plains and plains on the side of here, so that's fine. But these ones, these pure water ones, will count as matching up on the end there. So I could do that. And it is quite nice, to be honest. Unfortunately, though, that would mean this would have to be water. And I don't know, to be fair, though, am I going to get 2 plains, tree, 2 fields like that? Probably not. So I'm going to plonk that down there. That fulfills that quest as well. And we can start getting more fields. That is so close to the field I want. I probably just want a full field tile there. You know what? Is that one perfect so far? You know what it is? It's not perfect, actually, because there's that house. You know what, then? we'll join it through like that, and we'll just take the small loss on that one there. We have more fields and rivers, which, I mean, it thematically works, but yeah, it's not quite going to fit, is it? Not really. A little bit annoying there, a little bit annoying. So I kind of like the idea of the water coming out here, but we might end up with a little bit of a lake. I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to keep building this out, and now we've got ourselves more town. Okay, so that one's exactly 4, which is annoying. So yeah, that's where that tile is really going to get in my way. So yeah, I can plonk something like that down here later and have myself a big town. It's going to be glorious, but for now, it's a bit of a problem. I'm going to build one. I'm going to build one here, which does mean I've got to figure out what I'm doing with that water. We'll worry about that problem in the future. That's future Thomas's problem, not Thomas right now. So we'll ignore that one. Now there is, yeah, that's not bad, but there's a house on that end. Not quite the right tile. It looks okay for a moment, but sadly it's not really going to work. So we could probably just plonk this down anywhere. Sometimes when there's nothing too perfect, you just go for something that looks nice, to be honest. And you know what? I think that'll be nice in the days to come. That one there doesn't make anything wrong. It just means we're expanding out for the future. There are these tiles out here. I haven't actually got to these yet, actually. There's something extra there. I think in general it has a nice challenge view, but it doesn't always go well, but from what I've seen anyway from other people playing. But, you know, hopefully it will go well for here and us today. 1800. Okay, not a bad start, actually, considering I had these trains and the waterways very early on. That could have gone an awful lot worse. You know what? That was not actually far. It's not actually far from the tile we wanted for there, but hey ho. This is a lot of these farmy ones, a lot of these farm fields are very awkward indeed. Sometimes you just kind of got to accept that they're a little bit wild, but I suppose that is what you might well expect. So I'm going to do that. It's not perfect, but it will have to do. Right, we're being forced with our hand on the train tracks, and that is a decent way of getting the tracks away, but it looks terrible, so I'm not going to do it. This, on the other hand, that ruins that housing development. For Pete's sake. You know what? That for matching that isn't actually the worst thing in the world, albeit it's not going to be perfect anyway, so it's probably not worth it. Ah, dear. Okay, you know what? We can branch out in that direction. There's another field. Ooh, that's good. That is... It's not quite going to be perfect. That's about as good as I could hope for there. Okay, end of the track. That's fine. That's just where the trains live. There's going to be another... Ooh. Oh, that's such a shame. That could have been such a good one. Now, this might actually be a good one of those opportunities where it's a good idea to actually let it go. Where you might actually just plonk it down and say, sod the quest. But you know what? I've got options right now. That's going to be end of a line. We're going to branch that off over there, and the town can build in the in-between lands. This still has to be an end of station sort of a thing, which means it's still going to be something like that. I can find a better tile to fit that one later. That is still more than 4. That's 5. For Pete's sake. See, that's the kind of tile we want in between here as well, but it's not quite going to work for us right now. No, no, no. Okay, you can join the new town down here. And how do I want this? That does leave me with 5 ends of plane, which is always a fairly nice kind of a tile to have. And as for over here, not quite feeling this one right now. That forces our hand with the water. Not liking this tile. Just do that. Just do that. Send the problem for later. It's next turn's problem, not this turn's. Okay. Okay, that unfortunately would ruin that perfect, but I don't think it's ever going to be that perfect, is it really? It's a little bit awkward. Although, sorry, that's 4. It's 4. Definitely should be joining that on here. Which direction do we want? That's good, because that's another plane touching. Lovely. Right, well, that's 1 quest done. 7 more, and that can just be... I just fill that one in when the time comes. So... Oh, God. These fields are awkward. I kind of like the look of that, so we're just going to accept it. It's only a 10, but you know what? Sometimes you just settle for what looks pretty. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a particularly high score on this game here. Now, so that just joined through, actually. It's not particularly ideal, but how often am I going to get something like that? Not sure very often, but I might as well continue to branch this out as much as I can. I'm getting some very weird bits of town, actually, in this part of the world. I could, though, get the trees. Not quite. Not quite, but we'll do that. We'll do that. The trees might be able to branch across in time. Something like... not quite like that, but something like that, potentially. I do quite like that, though. I like the little house by the river. It's not strictly great as a join. Actually, that keeps it alive. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Right, river and train line. This... I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. So... oh, that's... is that a good idea? Is that a good idea, Thomas? Well, I can't fit them up there. It's probably a terrible idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Going to do it anyway because I can't hear you screaming at me, audience. I cannot. So we'll just continue in that direction. There's a perfect, an extra tile for us. How marvellous. And I think we might finally have a sort of tile over here that I'm looking for. That's closer to what I want. So I'm just going to go for it. Not perfect, but hey-ho. We'll cope for now. I'm back to the classic problem where this tile could loop it back in or indeed go down here. I really like the idea of it going down here, but that field against the forest just seems so wrong and that just looks so right. It's probably a good idea though to keep this train open for the future because, yeah, when I get some bigger train tracks down the line, maybe that would be a good idea. But perhaps, you know, perhaps this just goes from this old little river holiday location. Yeah, maybe that's just what this is. Perhaps that's where they like to go on holiday. And we're going to do that because it looks nice. And we just have a little loop here. This is where all the trains go to take everyone from the city here down to the river for a lovely weekend away. They get to see all the beautiful windmills and the plains of all the cattle on the way. It's a lovely thing. And the birds fly above the sky as we go. Oh, it's just so lovely and peaceful. And I haven't started panicking yet because I've still got plenty of tiles. Don't worry. They very quickly disappear as soon as you start making some stupid decisions. Amazingly, I've managed to get the tile here, and it's even got a forest on one end to make it nearly as perfect as possible. And to punish me, here comes the immediate pool of water, which I definitely don't want to do that, albeit that would be really cool to have a little river next to the train line over here. But no. You know what? There's a nice little match there. Yeah, why not? I'm sure there's plenty of reasons why not. Don't even tell me why not. But I thought that was rather lovely. So we'll just continue with our little forest here on the edge of the plains. I like that up there. It's looking good. I feel like I've got a bit of a strange world here right now. I mean, certainly the fields are always going to be fairly separate because they're just a bit of a mad selection of tiles, if I'm brutally honest about it. But we'll go with that. These are never going to be that perfect. There's a train track. So, well, yeah, immediately I'm going to have to start a new train track, aren't I? But I'll start it out where I can control it more. Potentially out here somewhere. But at the very least, I might as well get it matching something. You know what? Should we do that? There's some water up there. You know what? We'll do that anyway. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll probably be totally fine. We have ourselves two beautiful empty plain tiles in a row. So there is one which is, yeah, currently almost entirely surrounded beautifully. I might just... oh, it's not quite going to be perfect there. I'll hold out on that one for the time being. But I can see I've got myself a water station coming up. That one is very nice indeed. You know what? We'll just plonk the plane out. Oh, actually, there's some nice plane opportunities out there. Perfect. So the water station. This is basically a good way of plugging up any of these things. But that's going to block off the town, unfortunately. So we're going to have to leave that one. That's probably a good solution for this little thing here. I mean, these can turn into railroads and into water. It's a very good way of eating up some of these junctures. I mean, I kind of like the river to keep going along there. I'm actually quite happy with that situation. But it wouldn't be the worst idea to intercept one of these other sections. But to be honest, I'm just going to plonk it in there. It's a good system, 130, very nice indeed. Yeah, just a good way of finishing that up. I wouldn't mind if the game just slightly fiddled around. I don't know if this is coming in a patch or something, but yeah, just when you've got these two next to each other like this, maybe just vary it up, because it's kind of like two blobs that just kind of join together. But I wouldn't mind it being slightly more straightened off, maybe like a headland sticking out at one bit, a little bit more, because it's just kind of two bubbles meeting right now. To be honest, this game was basically made by some, I think, just university students, basically, really showing up the rest of their class. Something like that. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's the kind of the general gist of what's going on there. This is actually a pretty nice tile for what I was just talking about, actually. Probably more this tile than the previous one, just to get that match on the house there. And then we've got some more railway roads, which I guess that's what we're going to do for now, and we'll see how that one goes in time. But yes, this game is just so beautifully put together. It's one of those games where it has a very simple concept, and it just pulls it off beautifully. It's so, as I say, so simple. But now when you start to look around and you have to figure out, right, well, I need to just remember if I get an end of train tracks, where preferably with like 2 houses, 3 houses, 4 houses on the side and a tree, then that's perfect. But you're not likely to. There is a train track. There's a train on that train track. Oh, we'd better put this house down and race to that. But yeah, it does things so simply, really. It's one of those games where you can pick it up. You don't have to pay much attention to it if you don't want to, and you can have a lovely time with it. And, if you want to play it super aggressively, and by aggressively I just mean, competently, as opposed to probably half of what I'm doing, then, you can do so. I'm going to start some fields up here, by the way, over in that corner, eventually, one day. There's my train. Yeah, but it just has a clear idea of what it's trying to do. And you can play it, I don't know, as casually or as intensively. Intensively. That's probably the word I'm going for, as you like. These fields slightly irritate me. Still not going to go for it. I do find the fields pretty, but they also are very, very irritating indeed. And these ones are probably... You know what? Oh, there's all that water over there, isn't there? However, we are going to have some houses this side from now on. I have decided, I have spoken. Right, there's actually a train on this track, so we're going to have to do something with this track. Yeah, we'll do that. Do we want this to come around? I don't know. You know what? That's not the worst idea. Just to maybe seal off this section. Oh, you know what? You know what? We've immediately... You can see there how little care I did about putting those down, but it just gives us a way of, yeah, we got a little train track, goes in a circle. It's beautiful. This is just where you go to have, like, actually there was one quite near where I grew up. It's kind of like a kiddie train. You can get on it. It kind of takes you, I don't even know, to the next village, I guess. It's like probably like a mile at best, to be honest. But it was cute. It was like a little train. You could barely fit on it if you're an adult, but it was a lovely little thing. Want more of that in my world. What do you want? You want 16 exactly. Well, aren't you just a choosy little so-and-so? Right, that's got that in the way. Yeah, this is going to have to come down here, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's going to be part of the new town. And we're going to have a few... You're exactly 24. So you can join... we just have one field in the middle of town. Actually, no, that doesn't even join, does it? Okay. We'll do that for now. 5 exactly and 15 exactly. So ideally, we get a 5 to join. Oh, that doesn't join, does it? Well, ideally, we get 5 across 2 here. But that is going to be hard to remember. You are the tile I've been looking for about half an hour. Yeah, triple perfect. Eat my goal. And with that, hopefully, we can start hitting... elsewhere again with the fields in this part of the world. I've got that in hand. I can easily complete those as soon as I join anything together, so I won't rush and ruin that. I'll just leave it for the time being. Now we've got ourselves Bit of a field and some town. That looks like it's going to... Ooh. Ooh, yes. That fell into place absolutely beautifully, as did that. And... Ooh, I'm not sure about this one, though. Not sure about this one. Oh, that could... Okay, that would need a curve. And then... pool of water. Gonna need the water either way. Well, this is interesting. Okay, we've done quite a nice job there actually of hooking this one around. So a bit of a straight water or a sort of slightly branched one. We'll deal with that. We're doing okay here. We managed to integrate the water and the railway a little bit, albeit that is just a straight railway with a loop. But I count it. Damn it! You know what? That looks fine. So I'm going to go for that. And we've got ourselves the train track now. I'd like it to go this way and come towards the town because we're going to try and deal with all of this. Now, ooh. So you want exactly 2, don't you? So I can't join you up just yet anyway. I just said I wanted to send it that way, but you know what? The world is telling me to do that, so I'm going to do it. And we've got ourselves a few extra tiles in the process. So you know what? Probably for the best. Let's... Lots of trees. Lots of trees. I probably shouldn't branch that away. That is probably as good as I'm going to get because of... Ooh, but that's... It's not perfect, actually. So, with those trees there... No, that's a terrible idea. That's a better idea. Let's go for that one. Okay. Okay. This is going okay. Now this, I don't know why I put that, well I do know why I put that there. I was waiting to kind of connect things more later, which is what's going to happen, particularly when we've done that. We just need to then join those together and that will be that not too far off completion. I've quite often a good idea, I've got down below what I started with now. Often a good idea is just to keep a few things in hand. One more, oh, no wait, that's perfect. Didn't even realise that was an accident, but that one I've kept in hand pretty much perfectly. Now, I didn't really want to have extra track like this, but I guess that's what we're getting, so we're going to have to stick with it. You want 2 more, you want a lot more than that. That's going to block off the river, which is a terrible, terrible idea. That has houses, and see that joins that all together, which is not going to work for that thing over there. So, you know what, we could match that up, but then we're going to hit the back of the forest. You know what, should I take ruining the perfect? Is this going to be perfect? You know what, it is doing pretty much spot on so far, so there's no point of ruining that. Yeah, that'll do, that's okay. So what have we got next? More fields on the edge of town. Again, another tile which would be great over here if it wasn't for the exact 2 that I'm currently waiting for. I've noticed it's got an awful lot of town coming up. So, I think... See, that could have been good. I think I can still do this and link that town in. That was probably a stupid idea. Why did I just do that? I don't know, but I've done it now. So, we'll move up here. You know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm fed up with that tile not joining together. We've done it now. We've completed those 2. It's not complete. You know what, that is the perfect tile with, the matches on the sides. That is glorious. Does mean, I think we've only got that exit now for this tile. Oh, no, the second one over there and the third one down there. Okay, there's actually quite a few for that kind of thing. If you click on it, it sort of glows. I'm pointing at the screen again. Glows where the exits are, and this obviously... This is a very specific tile that I'll be waiting quite a while for. This one, tree and house and then plains. One day maybe. One day maybe. That's pretty nice. That's probably as nice as I'm going to get around there, so we'll settle for it, I suppose. And you... It's not good for all those plains. Unfortunately, that's not quite as nice as I'd like it to be, so we're going to join these. That's pretty nice. We'll go for that. Nice. I feel like my vocabulary has very, very much crippled itself in the making of the last few minutes of this video. Oh well, you know what? Trees and houses, that's perfect. It just branches it back around those purple farm. You can see here that the colours will change according to where they are in the map. Sometimes we've got the sort of redder ones down here. Slightly more, I guess, Scandinavian kind of soil. I think the makers, I'm not sure actually where the makers are from. I have a feeling it's Germany, but I might just be making that up. I'll have to check that one up later. This, again, I kind of want the two planes over here because I've got some good joins on quite a few of those. So, although be it, that one, that does kind of slightly ruin the perfect, but again, there wasn't a lot I could really have done about that. Where am I going to fit this? See, I've kind of finished this whole section here, haven't I? I've closed that off with that tile, which may or may not have been a good idea. It's probably fine, you know. I've got more potential fields out in that part of the world. There we are. That got a bit of forest on the end. So that's pretty good. We have ourselves some water, which will nicely fill up that spot. So I'm pretty pleased about that. That's fulfilled another quest, and it's given us one of those slightly awkward tiles. But to be honest, we can... No, we can't make it work there. Not quite as ideally as I would have liked, but we're just going to plonk it down and not worry too much about the consequences. I'm actually, well, I'm 2/3 of the way to my high score, and I haven't felt in trouble just yet. We still need 2 down here, don't we? For Pete's sake. I'm going to be dealing with that one all day yesterday. Okay, that one is a bit more plainy, but I still can't quite get this to work, can I? You know what? That looks better. We'll just go for that. I'm just going to tick that one off for now. Just don't bother thinking about the railways anymore. I've got this one up here joined in together now, by the way, so we are pretty much ready to clear off that forest. Perfect. We're going to keep this one alive, just keep building it really. But for now, that quest is complete, and we have mostly plains with one bit of field, and I feel like I must have had somewhere with that. It's probably this house one I'm thinking of, though. Nothing quite fit in the bill for that, sadly, but that's not too bad, albeit I would kind of like to get the perfects where I can. Oh, I'm not going. Oh, just that'll do. That'll do. We still got the town growing out over here potentially. Whenever, if ever we ever complete that. There is one thing I find slightly sad at the end of this game when you lose. Is that thing of I kind of want to continue, although I do believe there is. I'll show you at the end in case I ruin it by pressing the new game. But yeah, I believe there is a sandbox sort of mode coming. So I very much look forward to that. Another 3 when I need 2. But yeah, that should be good. I think it'd be one of those games, a bit like with Islanders. It's fun to kind of do the challenges, but no, it is awfully nice just to, or it would be awfully nice to just kind of play around, just to explore, continue to build your strange world. And at times, as I say, obviously, it's fun trying to fulfill the quests and things, but I do like at times just, you know, just trying as much as possible to create the nicest place you can, you know, just a place that looks pretty. And, you know, that's really the name of the game in my mind. It's how pretty can I make it while not being terrible at the game. I'm going to, I could plonk it down there. This is kind of lots of plains in town. I kind of like how scattered and staggered it is. It's like they appreciate their greenery. This one's taken the concept of the village green very, very seriously indeed. They decide to keep it forevermore. As of these chaps over here, it's all rather lovely. I feel like, despite the fact that it's looking quite grim and industrial, I don't know, I feel like it's probably got its nice green areas. Perhaps it's just a garden city. And to be honest, in England, the garden cities are... they're not the best, to be honest. They didn't really work out perhaps how they planned them to be. Anyway, you sound a bit like what I wanted over here, but you're not quite it, are you? Not quite. Keep on missing out on these perfects that I'm looking for. But that's the thing, I always feel like you're juggling all these sort of perfects in the back of your mind during this game, and I kind of like that actually. We're going to plonk that down there. Ooh, a nice water turn. Now that's... See, ooh, I like the bend in this, and I'm going to keep this river going. It might not be sensible, but I'm going to do it. As for this, I wouldn't mind this bending in toward the city, but that's going to need more turning if I do that. So, is this sensible or not? Probably not. I'm going to do it anyway. So there we are. That's a that's how you kill yourself right there, because I've just got this 54 which I need to complete. So now I did send this all the way around the outside. I am an absolute numpty, and if I teach you any way of playing the game, it's not what I just did right there. However, we are going to. How should I do this? We'll do it like that. We'll keep the town open as much as possible. What do you want? Exactly 7. Well, that's also going to be awkward, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh, we've got a tile down here. I would love to... That is the worst idea in the world, and I really, really want to do it for the jokes. But maybe another time. Okay. What am I even doing anymore? I'm not going to be able to get these to join up, because that's such an awful idea. And it's going to have to join up either way. So no, Thomas, that is the worst idea in the world. That doesn't fix the whole 7 problem. Sometimes you are just... It's probably better just to give up on some of these quests, particularly with this. I mean, that will work. We'll have to go around anyway. We have to go around. We will do that. And it does actually match up quite nicely with what else is around. I'd love to get 2 houses. Can we stop with the 4 houses? Aishkaba. Look at that perfect fit in there. Oh, glorious. We have the plain, the town, and the forest. That could not be more beautiful. And are we going to get more of the same over here? Not quite, because that's double forest on that end. But it's not a bad effort, I suppose. Not a bad effort. Still waiting for the right amount of houses for the other town. But, you know, it is what it is at this point. This guy feels more like one of these little northern towns, where we join them up with the trees. That is so nearly perfect as well, but how is this tile doing? It is actually perfect so far, so best not ruin it. But there is the water coming in here, so I need to bear that in mind. We'll go with that for now. And we'll seal that off in time, I suppose. Sells a field here. Oh, that's annoying. It doesn't quite fit on the end of there. We'll... Grr. This isn't quite matching up the way I'd like it to. You know what? We'll do that. We will do that. We've got ourselves more forest. Mostly plains around that end. So, yeah, we'll get it like that. And have a perfect in the centre. We've got ourselves more train track. And this one, that's got to be the end of the line. So that's okay. We're going to do that over here because we've got some of that. That might fit there in time. We eventually want this to loop around to get to here. Hopefully with a big town in between. That'll be nice. It'll take you from one town. You know, it's a short gap between the two, but it's a little hop between the 2 towns. And then, you know, you get the transfer to the boats. If you want to go over there, yeah. See, it all makes sense. We might actually have ourselves more water and like a water station that I'd like to theoretically think has like a little, you know, a bit like in London at Monument. It tells you it's a switch around station. This is a very London-centric comment, by the way. It tells you there's a connection between the District line and the Central line. There is not. It's about a 40-minute walk. It's not that far. It's like 7-minute walk. But it's a lot further than it makes you think, damn it. And that's what we're going to have over here eventually. I say, if we don't run out of tiles. 25, we're still doing okay. Could be worse. So, unfortunately, that doesn't quite match up the way I'd like it to. It's a really pretty tile. I do kind of like this sort of tile. Even though it's completely terrible for your town ever matching up in any direction you want it to. We'll just do that. We will just do that, which is probably a terrible idea. But what have we got? This tile is not ideal for me. Albeit, no, that's perfect. That is so beautiful. And this tile here, not sure. Come to that in a moment. We have ourselves a house and some forest. That is... Ooh, is that what we want? Yeah, that's pretty good. 2 perfects. Got that mostly matching up very nicely indeed. It's just that one side there that it hasn't fulfilled, but couldn't be perfect with that particular one there. This is not a friendly tile for me. That is not going to help me get that perfect I've been waiting for 20 years over there, so that's going to have to go Well, that's the only way it can go. So that's going to have to go into that direction over there. That's... Ooh. Ooh, do I want that? Well, it's not 2 houses, so I guess I do. And continue growing that town. We're going to make that work eventually. My score is getting there. We're doing okay. There's also a few challenges here. 2,000 tiles in total, so you can see how much I played the game. I haven't played huge amounts. 30 water segments. I don't plan on this necessarily ending here. I don't necessarily plan on joining these towns together at all. We might do, but yeah, we can keep Buddha and Pest apart as far as I'm concerned. We'll see what tiles we get. We'll see what tiles we get, but I'd like to continue that river. Obviously, it's going to have to end in the middle here, but this can go all the way through, and I kind of like that. It's quite beautiful, I would suggest. Now this, not quite perfect. That's getting too far out, really. I don't like it sticking out that far. That'll do. Ooh, okay. So we got ourselves to one of the bonus tiles with an old dead tree. How foreboding. Yeah, and it didn't join up the farm. Can we turn this round, please? No. No, we can't, obviously. But that is probably good future planning. 28 more to go. And, oh, right, what have we got? That's pretty good. It's not quite going to get perfect on here. Are you perfect all round so far? What is that northern bit? That looks like it's not a town. It might... Kind of hard to tell right now. Yeah, that side is a town thing, I think. Yeah, this is part of the problem later on. It gets trickier to be 100% sure. This is a pretty nice solution for this problem of the 2 houses, which is now 1, by the way. I can stick this on the end here. It does actually match up with the 2 tiles so far. Finally gets that complete. This one's exactly 10, and it has a few places to do it, but that's going to be an end. That's going to be watery. So it's probably here where the main bit of it's going to start sticking out. This forest is getting more and more awkward, which is not really what I want from it. I'm trying to get as many matching edges as possible, but it's starting to get tricky, and this tile here is looking pretty nice so far, so I don't really want to ruin it, so I have to pick somewhere else. Maybe we'll just expand the northern forest for now. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Sometimes it's better just to, rather than force something to fit that isn't going to work, just do that. It's probably for the better. On the note of random fits, this could be nice. 16 it wants down here. It's going to struggle by doing it this way. That wasn't the way I was supposed to be going, but that's... I mean, it's okay. It looks nice enough, so we'll go for it. Now, water station, water station. There are a number of spots we could do here. I won't put it in there because that would ruin both of them. Actually, that counts as a train track. That does still count as a train track, so that's okay. Interesting. I wasn't sure about that, but that would cancel the house quest, which I'm obviously never going to fulfill. But I can. Well, this is going to be one of a couple tiles. It has to be this or the water tile, or like one of these puddle lake tiles. So that's not a terrible spot for it. This can just be a standard piece of water, so that's fine. This, again, could just be straight on, so that's not the end of the world. I could plonk it down here, but I don't really want to be honest. I think this makes sense, and to be honest, it's a boat station. This is where you get on the boat to go over to your other towns, or whatever the windmill is over here. It's lovely, and one day you would take it to this house as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Right, 391 trees. Oh, how glorious. Well, sometimes when you get this, you just have to say sod the sod the old perfects and things. I'm going to plonk it here because that's going to be as simple as possible to link it into going forward, I suppose. Oh, I could do that, and then this one has to go all the way around. Oh, that is very tempting indeed. That is the more sensible plan, but could I get the 24 in? I can get like 8 per tile, so 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. That would be making it difficult to really get all of that together, because I need 8 here, and then I need to skit some in. So it's not going to be quite as simple as a straight rail track there. This is just a little loop for the trains. We're going to do that, and then the train's going to come all the way around. It will never get there, by the way. We'll lose long before that. This is an interesting one. I've got this 64 town tile with a bunch of trees, which, yeah, I can join it on there. That's a pretty nice fit, isn't it? So that's not too bad, but that does mean we need exactly 22 and 21, so we can get up to 21 and then get to exactly 22. Well, that's fine. That way round is okay. We can deal with that. That's pretty good, actually. I could go with that. Yeah, we'll worry about filling the rest of these gaps in a bit. 3 more houses. Now, that's pretty good. We'll keep that running along where the river's going to be. Beautiful. You can see that we've got a little flag now, which is basically suggesting from the game that I should think about closing it up. And actually, it's a good point. I am down to 13 tiles. So closing that up, not the worst idea in the world, but there's quite a few exits for that. So that one isn't the easiest. Yeah, at this point, 13, I should probably have really noticed before now, but at 13 left, I need to really think about how either I'm going to get perfects, just to kind of keep it trickling along, or how am I going to fulfill some of these quests. I've got a lot of quest markers up at the moment, so I wouldn't be too worried about it per se. 3 waters into this system fulfills that. It wants exactly, actually, so I do need to be careful, because that if I join them up, that will break that system. It will have to be down here anyway, that particular tile, so I won't worry about that for the time being. But I do need to just be have an eye on where I'm trying to gain my points back here. There are quite a lot of potential perfects around. So there's one. So that gets me started and keeps the forest kind of pushing into that tile, which is what we want to see. And that can mean that the forest can get a sort of new lease of life in that direction and really keep on moving and growing. This tile is one of those classically annoying ones. Don't really know what to do with you, but that's pretty enough, but not really very useful to anyone or anything. I guess we'll go for that. It's not great, but it's fine. Right, we have some curvy ones. Now, the fact that I know that other one's coming, that's not the one, that's not the colour join we want though. That's pretty ideal. And down to 11. Need to be careful now. Just think carefully about these placements. He says, as he almost certainly does something immensely stupid immediately. Would in theory like that to go round, so that's probably not the best idea. I've got myself a few little fields over here. This is a terrible idea at this point of the game to go and do something on the edge of the map, but we're going to do it. That's probably for the best, just to seal that up. See, it's getting angry at me now. 9 left. This is the tile we've waited for 20 years. Woohoo! Double perfect. And this one's set up for perfect as well. That's a good tile. Okay. So yeah, just keeping things in hand. Very much name of the game at this point. Okay, you can start swinging round. That is your job at this point. And from here, what do we want? Well, we can't put it there, obviously. This isn't particularly great. And neither is any of this up here, although that's not the worst. We'll just do it. That is a perfect there, so we'll take it for the time being. Now. This is very, very tempting. Is that a good idea, though? Might not be. But I don't really have many other options, so I think that is where it's destined to go. The Lord has spoken on that one. Now, the water here. Okay, that'll leave it at 2, and that would fulfill it. So, I'm going to put this here. And if we get a straight water or a big pool of water, I can fulfill that. That will be 2 more tiles to join up. Down to 6, and at this point you can start to see what your tiles are. Now, you can only really see 3 in a row. I don't actually know what these ones below are. Even though they're green now, I think that is just for show. But I am getting very tight. This field isn't going to happen. This 10 close is not going to happen. This 3 easily could if I get a straight or a basic water tile. This town is not going to get fulfilled. This could, if I get the right building or the right thing. And honestly, I'd just say sod to the town if I did get the end thing here, because I still need ender track and houses on two ends to kind of match up. So that's a pretty difficult tile to be left with. Elsewhere. Now we can do something like that, which does at least give us the opportunity to give this one perfect at a later point, but we're pushing things a bit tight at this point, and I don't like it. That's a pretty good match, but again, a bit late in the day for it. For remaining, this is the thing, the water ones are not particularly useful at this point in time. They're kind of going to slip me up unless they're the ones I want them to be. So I'm just going to plonk that down there. Right, we can see all three now. We got some train tracks, which means we're going to have to do some perfects. So I'm just going to have to very tediously look around for these. Found a pretty good tile for this one, which should give us a perfect. Okay, not too bad, but we're getting more and more train tracks. Oh gosh, that is not good, because the train tracks are going to offer us very, very little. There are not perfects around in this part of the world. Can we do anything else with that? We can't. That leaves us with two. This tile here is not too bad, actually. This one should be perfect as you place it down. That keeps us going. And again, there are a few matches around, so it just keeps things alive moving forward. That's a bit of an awkward field, and I have avoided fields up there for the whole game, but beggars can't be choosers at this point in time. This tile is honestly not helping anyone, but we're just going to have to plonk it down, which brings us to 1, and I'm pretty certain I have enough. I mean, around this area, pretty much all these tiles are... I mean, it's a bit easy to tell right now. So, for example, this one here is perfect on 4 sides. This is the problem right now. This one here is perfect, 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 perfect. So, yeah, I can put this down and that will be that. But I don't really want to ruin this one if I don't have to. But I don't really have an awful lot of choice at this point. Likewise up here. This tile is perfect. That would be perfect, that'd be perfect, that'd be perfect. So that's actually okay as well. And hopefully that's also this one. So that's 2 perfects. We're going to keep on fighting. Glorious news, we can fill up the trees here, and that gives us not only a perfect, but a pile of 5. We can breathe once more. I thought I was dead here. I've got myself 2 water tiles in a row, which does make life very, very awkward indeed. But this here should just give me a perfect. Oh no, I have actually beaten my top score, which still isn't a particularly good score, but it's something. Oh dear, I'm still in big, big trouble though, aren't I? I think I'm going to have to do what I've been trying to resist the whole time, which is to plonk down this field here. Oh dear, we're just going to have to accept defeat. And alas, that is a new high score, but it could have been better. I did too much of planning for the future, and I didn't shut enough things off. I played the high risk and mucked it up. But hey ho, you know what? I was enjoying this. I enjoyed the nice river going straight through the middle. But it made life more difficult. I mean, if I just joined these 2 towns together, I would have been able to do an awful lot. Could have closed that off. I had 3 more railways to go. I mean, this was only 1 tile away. If I probably could have found a perfect there, but alas, this tree's wanting closing off, but there are quite a few exits still on there, having just reopened it up, to be honest with you. But that flag only appeared as soon as I completed that previous quest. Still waiting for this, for the little knobbly end over here, like we got in this position. That's pretty much the same tile we really wanted. Preferably with a house join. That would have immediately solved that problem. We could have joined up the houses here and made that all work. There are a lot of almosts and what ifs here. Oh well, I'll probably play this another time. I mean, maybe when we got the sandbox, we'll create something truly beautiful. You can, of course, start yourself a new game. It does say creative mode coming soon. I'm not sure when the soon is. I'll have to check on that. But they are making new updates to this game as we go along. But there we go. I will leave you for now. I hope you've liked this. I hope you enjoyed this little look into Dorfromantik. A lovely, lovely little game. Just perfect for having a relaxing evening. The score, the music is just spot on. Perfect mood setter. And I think for what is, as I say, a very small scale game, the fact that they've got someone to get the music as spot on as they have here, bravo, I say bravo. Perfect little game, very cheap. Can't remember how much it was in Steam, but not very much. Must have been less than 10 or something. I can't really recall, but it wasn't much. I'd definitely say it's worth it. But for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas, this is Nerds to Human, and this has been Dorfromantik. Thank you, and bye-bye. Let us have a moment for Domino then, a giant of a commander who, frankly, I completely let down. Here! Yes! That was so good! We'll shoot them as they land. Ow! No, we're fine! Everything is fine! Panic over! It's only a horde of Vikings, it's not actually a problem.